So I had some friends that would witness, like they'd be getting high together and one of them would OD, and they would still go and use the next day. The person would come back, they'd be okay, they didn't die. Even that type of scariness didn't make them stop. Even my daughter had some friends that still continued to use heavily after their friend died. There's addicts of mine, or friends of mine who are addicts, that would witness their friend ODing, and they would still use, but it didn't happen to them. Yeah, you'll see stuff happening all around you, things crumbling down, everything, but until something really happens to you, that's when you decide to make the change. We would just go to parties, and I always felt like if I wanted to go to a dance or just come out of my shell, I'd always have to have some sort of substance in my system. I didn't think I had a problem because I'd go months without drinking, and then I would go on these benders that would last like 3 or 4 days. Now it's like being cut with fentanyl. And what's crazy to me is that shortly after I got sober, 2 friends of mine OD'd on fentanyl. And then now I'm hearing that it's just like in all these other drugs, like in cocaine and weed, everything. So I just know, like, had I not stopped doing that, I probably wouldn't be here today. I'm not someone who's like a show off, but I kind of like to show it off a little bit that I'm here with my kids. And the last time I was here with my kids, they were getting taken away from me. And it's cool, like, and for that, and I like to show off my kids. They're so adorable. And a lot of my friends that I was hanging out with at the end when I didn't have my kids kind of get to see what they look like, or I want to accidentally bump into people and I'm like, oh, that's her kids, cool, like it's for real. And a lot of people after we left here started saying about my husband and me, that we think we're too good for people now because we're clean, and they think that he's a cop now and that he's like an undercover agent and all this because we got clean. And I honestly, when I stayed back and my husband went to rehab, I thought that about him too. I thought, oh my gosh, he thinks he's so much better than all of us because he's clean now. And I would sit around and talk shit about him to his friends, and they were all about it. Wow. No one was real because all of our friends were using too. A lot of them were real friends in the beginning, and then you use with them, you turn your backs on each other. But in the end, like if they get sober, I know that they'll still be my friends. But yeah, the gossip that was here and all the rumors and everything, because we got clean and we're doing good, it was like, now we're feds. We're feds now, or we think we're too good for people when we just want to help people, really. What was rock bottom like? I had several rock bottoms. You don't know you're in rock bottom until you get sober, I think, because I didn't even realize I was in rock bottom. And it wasn't rock bottom that made me decide to go to rehab. It was just the fact I had nowhere else to stay. So rock bottom for me, it was like normal for me, for my situation.
What was your guys' routine like when you guys would park back here? Would you guys...
I don't remember. It depended on if we were on meth or not. But we would come at night after the business is closed, and then probably go to the bar, and then we'd come back, pass out, wake up, and we would always make sure we left before like 6 o'clock, because that's when we noticed like all the businesses, all the like employees and stuff would start coming. And if they seen us park there again, like we were worried about that. The hardest part about struggling with homelessness was just finding where we're gonna sleep next, you know, what we're gonna eat the next day, or even asking somebody if we could stay with them. So a lot of people didn't know that we were homeless because we just had this persona that we weren't doing as bad as we were. One reason is just because we knew that the kids were far away. We knew that somebody was going to report to the kids. We also just didn't want to look back because all of our friends, our real friends, were doing really good. So nobody really knew how bad we had it. So in order to keep that all in and not share that with anybody was really hard.
Perfect.
Fun to share because I don't know, like it's something, I'm not like the person that goes on Facebook, I'm this many, I was the first year, 6 months clean today, I'm this month, you know, I just, you're excited about it, but I feel in my own head that it's trickery, and it's like, some people do it to hold themselves accountable, some people do it just to do it, and sometimes they're not even being real. And then sometimes it's like, yeah, I'm sitting here bragging about being 6 months clean, and I'm gonna screw up tomorrow, and then, you know, then I have to come out, or I have to continue to fake that I'm clean. So I don't like really expressing that out loud, and some people do, you know, but. So I feel like I'm flaunting it a little bit, but it feels good to like tell my story because I almost felt like I was in the shadows of my husband a little bit, because like he's like just this big boisterous like voice, and you know, and he's loud and proud, and that's great. You know, you're gonna have haters, you're gonna have people that say, oh, he thinks he's better than us, and that's going on a lot in my hometown right now, about him, you know, saying like he's a fed now because he's sober. But it feels good for me to do that because now I'm my own person, individual, and now I can tell my story, and it's just really cool. Yeah.